Hey everyone, this is Brian Underwood, and on the podcast today, I'm going to give you a life lesson that was taught to me by a mentor of mine, and he was a mentor to a lot of young people. He was one of the youngest managers for Procter & Gamble as they took the Colgate brand, the toothpaste, out to the marketplace, and then he became one of the most successful entrepreneurs that I personally knew, and one of the most powerful men in telecommunications as the deregulation of telecom hit in the 90s. He thrived during that time. And this is a lesson that I can tell you, if you get it, it'll shift your awareness and your discipline about focus on being around the right people, right? And the power of peer group, the power of proximity, and most importantly, how powerful our own energy is in keeping to our own standard. And so, it really gives me huge perspective because this was just one of many lessons that he taught me. And I want to share that with you guys. So I think mindset has so much to do with where we're going to go and how we get there. And more than mindset, I think that you have to have the right mindset to have the right attitude. And I'll never forget one of the first quotes I learned when I was a little kid is attitude determines your altitude, right? So always measure how high that you can fly based on how good your attitude is. And, the reality is that whenever you're dealing with people, you have to be very aware of not taking on the personalities of the people you're around, or making sure that you want to take on their attitude as well, because attitudes are contagious. And I'll never forget a mentor of mine I had the opportunity to work with. He was one of the youngest managers for Procter & Gamble. He actually introduced Colgate to the marketplace. That was when he was younger. And he was running a couple $100 million a year telecommunications business, and I worked for him. And I would be out on the road traveling, right? And when I was in the office, I was positive. I was getting a lot accomplished. Then I would go out on the road and I would get around other salespeople that were out on the road that would be complaining, right? And they would focus on all of the things that weren't going right. They would be blaming, shaming, justifying why they weren't getting something done or leveraging the company. And I'll never forget, he got a report because I would listen to them, right? And then I would follow some of their patterns in terms of my attitude. And I'll never forget, we had this talk when I got back, and he said, "Brian, you're one of the most talented people I know." He said, "You have so much going for you. You're so young. You have so much upside." He said, "But as soon as you get around people that are kind of the herd mentality, right? When you get around the negativity and where all the drama is," he said, "you just go down in the gutter. You got to get out of the gutter, boy. If you're going to be successful, you can't be in the gutter. You got to raise your standard, and you got to operate at a different level than the majority of people, or the people that live in mediocrity operate out of." And mediocrity has nothing to do with, someone's lifestyle or how much money they make. Mediocrity is people being content, with a lower standard than they should, but then complaining about it, right? Like, if you're happy with your life, don't complain about the situation that you are, that you're, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're content with your life, then don't make excuses and don't complain about where you're at. Instead, get up and do something about it, or don't complain. Because you actually have the ability to, whatever. Is that all right?
I think you hit the point, yeah.
Yeah. So the point is pay attention to the people you surround yourself with, right? Like if you're going to be around people that lift you up, that make you feel good, that are always looking for positivity, right? Doesn't mean negative things don't happen, but they find opportunity in every challenge. They find something good in every situation. The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, to criticize, to condemn. And statues aren't built off critics, either is happiness. So, if you're around people with good attitudes, regardless of where they are in life, you're going to tend to be happier, because that's contagious as well. So don't get in the gutter. Pick your peer group, love your family, and love you.